we have the IRS scandal going on right now. What do you think should be the next step that Congress should take in terms of investigating the targeting of conservative and Tea Party groups by the IRS?
I think the overriding message is that we need to get a handle on what is a C4, a 501c4. We need to make sure that the language of the statute is carefully adhered to. And what has happened is that over the years, since 1959, according to Lawrence O'Donnell, the IRS has applied a different standard to its interpretation of that statute than the clear language in the statute itself. And so what we have to do is get back down to where 501c4 nonprofits cannot be engaged in anything other than social welfare issues. It should not be involved one iota in electioneering or politicking. And so I think that's the bigger issue. I do believe that those who decided to undertake this singling out of conservative groups with the name Tea Party, or there was another name that they were investigating. We need to get behind their motivations. We need to call those agents. We need to go all the way up to the top of where that idea emanated from. Whether or not it was the lady who appeared yesterday and invoked the Fifth Amendment, or someone below her, or if there's some evidence that it was a higher up, that should be investigated. We need to look at their motives. Perhaps they were not meaning to politically target, but they just were doing their job in terms of trying to make sure that the organization that had that name was primarily, as opposed to exclusively, involved in social welfare issues.
At the hearing yesterday, former IRS Commissioner Shulman said he was at the White House 118 times, according to the White House log, but that in those visits, it was never discussed. The IRS targeting was never raised. Do you think that's possible, that he was at the White House and it was never talked about, even though it was going on?
I have confidence that this administration would not use a federal agency for political purposes. We saw that happen in the last administration with the Justice Department. And those kinds of abuses I don't think are engaged in by this particular administration. But it's something we have to always be on guard against. And legitimate questions have been asked about the IRS investigation of those 501c4 applicants. And those we need to get to the bottom of it. The best way is to bring in the people who actually conducted these studies. We need to bring those lower level people in, put them on oath, and have them explain what exactly motivated them to do what they did and who authorized them to do that. And then if it's a case of someone who proceeded with that activity after it had been declared a non-policy by our friend who testified yesterday, then that could be grounds for termination. Certainly wouldn't be grounds for prosecution.